Let's just check my sounds right tonight. Move my lamp around a bit. That's good. So my phone let me know that I'm going live. Just my computer on. Yarg. I think that's about right tonight. Looks good to me. I think. The dog's decided to join me, and yes. Okay. Ahoy shipmates, hope you've had a good week. And I need to get going, because you know what I'm doing. And hopefully some people will join in along the way. So this is the second point of Hearthguards from the box. So we've done 1 point of Warriors, we've done 1 point of Hearthguard. This is Hearthguard Take 2. Quite different. If you remember the first lot, they were these guys. And I've made these guys up. I won't worry about going through the miniatures. You can see them as we go along. I've managed to work with the blur off. We can start with our Barbarian Flesh. But I am going to leave the window open so I can breathe. So yes. Oh, making sure we've got some of that in there. Bit of dip. Bash the old Barbarian Flesh in. Sounds like Tinkerbell, the drinks fairy, is arriving.
How rude. There you go.
And the official jog of the back of the chair as she agilely swoops away. People got a whole room to turn around in. They always manage to bang your chair when you're painting. How does that even work? I don't know. Yeah. This detail brush is near the end of its life, I think. It's lasted really well, this one. Some last better than others. That's true of any manufacturer. I swap to army paintings. They do, I think, give not bad value for money. That's some really expensive brushes, and when the point goes on those, it's a disaster. And what do you do? You just grab another one off the pot and go again. Just keep working. On the box, the arm was up the other way on this guy, and I just thought he was quite cool, coming forward like he's going to wind up for a chuck, you know? I think it's good if you can do like a quick change something. I think on the box this one's carrying a spear. What a great pose. I shall paint your portrait. Let me just get in a good pose. Okay. Let's bash the chainmail out nice and quick. I usually would use a cheapy crappy brush. This. Here's a cheapy crappy brush. Sort of thing you pick up at conventions and that for 50p a go. That's if I haven't got like a detail brush or a character brush on the way out. Those army painter do a cheaper range, like the red ones. They're quite good for that as well. This one's just splitting completely, so I'm going to give up on that one. I'm going to go for that character brush, because that's... Again, I'm just about to replace these, so I'm not too worried. Just don't want to fill the detail up basically, because I want the and put a wash over these. So I've just watered the gunmetal down just a little tiny bit. So if you can pick up the snoring, my faithful assistant Spike has decided that he should sleep by my feet tonight for some reason. Yeah, if it looks like you're filling up the detail a bit on that, just let your brush dry out a little bit and just go back over and sort yourself out. rolling over. He's usually down there in front of the room, so you can't hear him as badly unless he's really going snoring. But for some reason, I've been graced with his presence down this end today. Who knows why? I'll go quite quickly with these guys because they've got a lot of chainmail on here. Yes. So, hope you've been spotting all the new videos that have been put out this week. I'm quite busy. Just tomorrow or something. Just drop a like and a subscription for us, that'd be great. The dog is blown off again. And that's a lot of information, but I thought if I share it, problem halved and all that. Don't know if that works with smells as well, let's hope so. That week went really quick. So yeah, back to these drawn Vikings. So, yeah. So it's 2, 4, 5 videos, isn't it, altogether? So it's just over a month, if you like. Just one evening ago. Not bad for a 4-point starter army. So next video we'll do the last 8 warriors. Unless somebody wants me to do an ordinary video of those. Find out in the suggestions. Yes. Chat room's really quiet tonight. You're just had a hard week. Let's just carry on painting, because that's what I do. Oh yeah, I can pick Vaughan up. Good evening, Harvey. Hope you're well. Yeah, Vaughan the Fearless. Yeah, we can do a video on that for sure. I picked up I visited Beast Towers the other day. It's a flyer. And picked up. I don't know if you saw I done like a backwards unboxing where I'd already painted the Arab archers. So I was sort of talking about how good value it was for the 4-point, and they sent me back with this. So, and we worked out it's even more. It was more than 4 points of saga in that one. I haven't worked out exactly how many, but Lord S suggested that I do that one and see how many points he gave me saga bases as well, because it's got the sword point bases. And said to me, yes, see how many points you get out of that one. So I thought, okay. I've also picked up some front rank Napoleonics to do some videos with. There's a noisy seagull outside. I've had a single one all day. Start doing a video, and here they come. I love these Vikings names. Vaughan the Fearless. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's given a little while since we put the Barbarian Flesh on. We can do our quick flesh trick with the Speed Paint Crusader skin. A quick blast of that over it. These are proper all-action miniatures, aren't they? These Joms Vikings. Evening, Rich. How are you? Let's see. We blasted through these Joms Vikings pretty rapid. Nice. Good work, shipmate. So I nipped into Griffin Beach this week, grabbed some more stuff. A bit quick. Chatted about some ideas for future videos and stuff, which was good. So grabbed the Roman box. Not sure you saw them, Rich. Bought the late Roman, the plastic ones. And picked up some front rank stuff. So all go here. Let's see what colours did our friend on here use. He's got blues, reds, greens. Okay, I'll read these questions out. So I've noticed when the video uploads, it doesn't upload with the comments, I don't think. Well, I don't see them. So Rich, Blue Moon 15mm English 100 Years War this weekend. That'll draw. That'll be a good weekend. GP Pagan Rush to arrive. Yes, very good. Plus some of those late Romans as well. Oh, good. Yeah, that'll make them giggle. Well, late Romans wise, I picked these up the other day. I did mention it on the video earlier. I did that unboxing for the 4-point Arabs. Well, it wasn't 4-point Arabs, it was just for the sword point ones. But this is the sword point late Roman infantry. And as you can see from what you can make, we should get about 4 to 6 points out of that, plus the warlord. So we'll have a look. So that'll probably be the next paint along, if that's okay with you guys. I've got some 100 Years War, some front rank 100 Years War I've got to paint. Good fun. Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? When I was doing the sword point ones, I was using the plastic for the sword point, and of course the saga, I stuck with the lead because obviously you need so much less of them. And then somebody told me they needed my sword point army that I've just painted and not used, and away it went. Hey ho. I will get around to doing another one. Yeah, I was going to say about. I didn't know enough at the time about the where you base sword point to use sort of movement trays and that. What about on the if you use plastics? What about using magnetized bases? Would that work? Don't know. Never tried that. So have it like so make it look like a multi-base thing. I should investigate that, shouldn't I? See if that will work. I was putting magnets into some GW miniatures to store them in a case. That's why I'm all kind of magneted up at the moment. Yeah, war bases are good. I noticed when I was watching the guys play sword point, they've got the elements into movement trays anyway, haven't they? It's just getting the miniatures right sort of fit in there. Let's do some of that. Light blue, loviness, troglodyte blue. I really was when I first bought an army painter paint. I still had all my Vallejo paint and all my GW paint, and I could not get them to work. They were so thin and horrible. And it wasn't until I got the big set that I realised what you had to do with them. And I got myself a little electric shaker, and it totally changes them. And I love them to bits now. Yeah, it's one coat. Boom, done. That's quite light blue as well. Yeah, got someone coming around somewhere I might know about the base sizes on the sword point stuff. So I shall ask him. And I'll report back on the magnet experiment. Oh my god, just had this picture flash through my mind with beast towers with miniatures stuck all over. Harvey, do you use any other minis for your armies like V&V or Victrix? I don't. I paint for other people that do. I find the scale's a bit of an issue for me. I like both Victrix and V&V. I've got some lovely Byzantine generals to paint from V&V. I'm gonna wait a little while to do Victrix ones. What's the last Victrix ones I painted? I think it was Spartans. Might be Spartans. Definitely something Greek. And it's all Greek to me. Yes, so in my armies, no. I think if I was going to make an army of Victrix miniatures, I'd use all the... Yeah. Yeah, they... The only thing I'd say about V&V is I would... The modern sculptor, I just like some of the older fashioned sculptors, and knowing they're pushing the putty around rather than the digital ones. I think there's room for both. I don't know where I'm going with that, in fairness. I think I'd drop that, but yeah. But I think the GB ones work for me, so if it works for you, stick with it. That's what I think anyway. Could be terribly wrong. I was looking for a nice green for his trousers. Yeah, those commands, but yeah, Byzantine commands are really good. And they're pretty good scale as well. They're kind of in the middle of everything. Victrix is a bit bigger, isn't it? But again, they're nice. I really get uptight when I hear people say, oh, such and such is better miniatures than such and such. They're all lovely. They're all nice. They wouldn't be out there if they weren't. I like... Some of my favourite barbarians. I love the old Mark Copplestone barbarians. Oh, great miniatures. I mean, you can still buy them from, is it Merleton? There's another company that's got some as well, because they split all the moulds in half, didn't they? And you see them from the conventions. But yeah, they still stand up. I mean, they were big at the time, weren't they? That's a noisy motorbike. When I bought the original Copplestone Barbarian box set with the giants in it, just great miniatures. I've still got the giants up on the shelf up there. I was a bit annoyed about the dragons because I've still got all the original dragons, and of course you can still buy them. So I've got these like 30-plus-year-old dragons, and you can still buy the thing. But hey ho. But I mean, to be honest, I think the Pagan Russ and these Joms Vikings, I'm drawn to them because of that very nature. I mean, these could be out of that cobblestone classic barbarian kind of era, couldn't they? So I'd happily put these onto a game of D&D table, role-playing table. They've got that much character. What I have to do that one week is instead of me painting everything, I'll just spend an hour or so just getting old miniatures off the shelves and giving them a dust and showing you guys what's hanging around on the walls, because all the walls in here are full up of minis. Yeah. Good. Give these guys some nice bright clothing. Well, I've got these Joms Vikings, same as pagan races. They paint up pretty quick. Let's get the secret weapon out. Ta-da. Everyone got their burnt umber yet? Yes. Mr. Vallejo, I'm waiting for my check in the post. They'll probably tell me off for just selling that one line. We keep running out of burnt umber. It was going to BrickCon, was that was it BrickCon? That was this weekend, wasn't it? Is that you, Rich, or somebody said they were, but my sieve of a brain has forgotten who it was. Oh. I thought about it, but it's such a long haul for me. I was going to give my son a surprise visit. He's up in Stoke. And just with across. Yeah, it's not quite like that, is it? I'll tell you what, Rich, I was thrilled that I remembered something. If that's any consolation. Oh yeah, colours. I'm supposed to be going to colours, I think, if I remember. Someone remind me. I think Griffin Beast's going to colours, I'm sure. 10th of September. Oh yes, because I did mention it. No, it was free. It's going to be free entry. Is that right? Colours, or I just falsely advertised colours for them. Because when people say colours, I think about was it warfare? Oh god, my head is sieve tonight. I'm sure it's colours. They have do the sword point and saga, I think. Yeah, somebody did tell me it was. It's pretty cool, isn't it? That's the same venue as normal, isn't it? It's the Reading one that's moved, isn't it? It's moved from the sports centre to a race course as well, I think. Someone was telling me. If my memory serves me correctly, which it probably doesn't. The Reading one's called Warfare, I think, isn't it? It's Wargamers Association of Reading. Hope I got that right. If I didn't, sorry, Wargamers Association. It's like I feel like I'm in a Life of Brian sketch at the moment. We don't talk to those. Ah, right, okay. Ah, right, okay. That sounds dead posh, doesn't it? Farnborough International Exhibition. For some reason, whenever I go to Reading in the past, this is when it's in the centre, I always got really, really revved up about buying loads and loads of stuff, and I never ever managed to find anything that I wanted to buy, and I got no idea why. Just it's the same as pretty much everywhere else, but I don't know. Perhaps there's nothing against Reading, I don't think. Perhaps it's just a Reading vibe. A bit too much on that white, so I can take some of that off. Just like to categorically state, I've got nothing against Reading or anything to do with particularly Reading. Apart from their one-way system. No, I'm not going to go down this road. Noisy local kids. Let's just see if there's anything we can use this brown on. I want to use a different one for his armour there. Probably go back and do the strips of his leather in those, but I'll do the rest first. Excuse me. Okay, let's do the spears with basilisk brown. It's getting quite warm again this evening. I thought it's warm because the wet palette doesn't stay a wet palette for as long. So I was getting a bit confused at the moment what to do in the ordinary videos and what to do like in these paint-alongs. So I wanted these to be a little less kind of formal really, so people can just ask me whatever they like. You know, what's your favourite colour? And all that stuff like that. Whereas I wanted to try and be a bit more informative and showcasey with the videos. It's been quite fun doing this Joms Viking in bits, this box, because I usually just do them all at one hit. That's been nice for me to do something different kind of work plan. Not particularly the Foundry one, but they're very similar to some of the old Citadel paints on the Foundry ones. Are they still the what's it called? Oh god, was speaking to the guy the other week. Well, anything that teaches people about painting triads is good. But if it's all you do, it tends to get a little bit stale. But it definitely works. And after all, if you're using an undercoat system like I am, and then thinning your paint and then putting a wash on, you've kind of done 3 different shades anyway. I know it's slightly different, but yeah, I don't mind painting with any paints really. I think you can get hooked up a bit in trying to buy paints that you think are what's the best way to describe it? Yeah, the Trojans. What I found that one there, the tanned flesh, is really good. Then using that tanned flesh, then the Barbarian Flesh as the mid-tone, and if you want a high, I think there's an elf one, or kobold. Kobold's a bit whiter. Corpse pale. So, you know, it's whatever works for you. You can use different washes over the top, a different glaze over the top. But yeah, the triads are going to give you the effect you, anything that's going to give you the effect you want straight out of the bottle, why not? I think some people get a bit precious about trying to get all preachy about stuff. I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. If I do start getting preachy or anything, please remember to wind my neck in on the comments. I was having a lively discussion with the somebody about the speed paints, and somebody was telling me how terrible they were. And I thought, well, if something gets you painting, how can it possibly be terrible? I can see problems. I agreed with him a lot of the stuff, but at the end of the day, if somebody wants to use that alone, I think it's just another tool in the toolbox, as the saying goes. And if it keeps somebody interested in our hobby and keeps them putting painted miniatures on the table, why not? Yep, you're absolutely spot on, Rich. That is. Don't try stuff you don't know. Yeah. Try it, you might like it. It's alright. I love that. It was like the speed paints, you know. I wanted to know what they did and stuff. So I bought some and played with them. And some of them I find really useful. Some of them I don't. What's the problem there? It's like these washes. When I'm... yeah, use a slightly too big brush there, and I've gone a bit mad with the red. There we go. It's like these washes, a lot of people don't like using the washes, but again, a lot of people do like using the washes. If I'm kind of batch paint like this, why not? If I'm painting for a, like a display piece, I probably wouldn't use much wash. I'm going to be building up colours, so it's a different thing. Right. Now we're going to go with our dark tone, because we can. I'm going to use, no, I'm not going to use that. Use what it's. This is our knackered regiment brush. So I've watered the black down like we usually do. Sirens in the distance. There's a dual carriageway not far from the backs of our houses, so it's probably shooting down there. That's of course if you can hear the sirens. So is the Guinness flowing at the moment then, Rich? I was going to say, it's going to be some interesting 15 mils with some Guinness on board. Just a drop more. Quite how much chainmail's on these guys. They're mailed to the max. Sorry, be quiet there. Just aiming with the bigger brush. Back of his shield with that brown. Does take quite a while to dry out that burnt umber. Now that it's drying a little bit, I'll probably drop a little bit of medium in there and it'll just stay usable for a bit longer. Why not? Okie dokie. Let's find a different brown for his armour. Lighter brown that, so let's go with something like that one is werewolf fur. That's just a little bit too light, I think. Yeah, we've done it right. So we just wash that away. Excuse me. Let's try oak brown, and it's quite similar to the umber though. Oh, it's a little dried out. Let's see what that's for. Hopefully. And you, mate, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in, Rich. I certainly will. So yeah, I was bumped into someone the other day who watches these like the following day. Can't make it to the live bit. So hi to you. I'll just knock the camera. Sorry about that, chaps. So if you're watching the uploaded version of this, let me know in the comments. It's always nice to know who's about. I'm looking for a nice grey for his beard. I'm going to go for a dark grey to start with. We're going to go for Necromancer Cloak. And first of all, we're going to do this guy's beard. He's going to have a big old grey beard. But I don't want it to be like the white grey, I want it to be like grey, and then what we do is we highlight that up a bit. That's him done. Just checking to see if there's any. Oh, My pin vice falling over. Attacking the bottle over there. Stand all that back up. So it's just this guy with his wolf pelt. And we usually paint these brown, don't we? So I thought I'd do a grey one. So where are we? We're an hour and 10 minutes in. It's not bad. As I said, we done our usual. I prepped these up earlier on. Pretty easy. Bit of drilling to get the spears in. Not much flash or stuff like that to clear up, which is not always nice. Couple of little cast lines, but you're always going to get them. This guy comes with that arm there you've got to put on. But again, that was only a case of snipping it off the base and gluing it on, because it was pretty much straight. It's got a bit of grey on the chainmail, which isn't terribly going to show up, but I'll know it's there, so we'll get rid of it. Yeah, it comes. His arm comes attached to the base. You can glue it into a different position. I think on the box it's got it holding the spear the other way around, but I just, as I said, I could picture him, this guy running forward. I'm gonna go chuck my spear at you. And so yeah, that was what I went with. Any little bits of extra movement like that you can give the miniature, why not? Okay, that needs a little bit of brown just up the side there. Okay, next we're going to get, I like this one here, I think it is. I always get my metallics mixed up to which one I want to use. This is weapon bronze. Just tried a different metallic. A bit round this. Is fancy metal at. I'm not sure if that's the correct terminology for Joms Viking headgear. There we go. It is though, isn't it? It's a fancy metal hat. I'm going to put some flesh tone over that, I think, just to make it look interesting. Somebody's hammer necklace. Oh, he's gone to town with this. He likes this look. There we go. So I sometimes use a gold for this and then tone it down a little bit with the wash, but I just thought I'd do something different. Because that's how these happy little accidents happen, isn't it? I'm sure I've heard that somewhere before. The dog is back in the room. And yawning. Between you and me, he can't spell, and I think he's trying to tempt me into taking him for a W-A-L-K. Ah, that's a very good question, Harvey. I'll either use brass is a bit tricky in it. So there's that copper, bronze, which is coppery one, or there's a Games Workshop one I like as well, Balthasar Gold. And in a minute I'll show you. At the moment it's quite bright, but I darken it off. Instead of a dark wash, I use a flesh wash. I'll just give it a few more minutes to dry. Yeah, good shout. Very good shout, like that. On the ball. Love it. Right, just going to do some red while that's drying. With the purest red Army Painter. Metallics are tricky, aren't they? Some like to be based with black underneath, some like washes over the top. I've got some Vallejo ones that are, you got to use alcohol for. I've stayed away from non-metallic because I think it's a bit of a rabbit hole for me. I have to paint. I know I'd have to paint it all the time. Oh, I found some Raupartha paints the other day for in one of the drawers under my desk. Love the Raupartha paints. Dragon Scale Red. Oh, now that's a paint. I told Charles, they're still all right as well. I couldn't believe it. There was only a couple dried out. I don't think the metallics are in there. I bought a set of the round path for satins and silks. We certainly are, Harvey. Yeah, the silk ones are brilliant. I got them out the other day. I had to shake them for about 15 minutes on the electric shaker to get them to work again, but they did. Fairness to them. The satin ones, I'll get them out on camera at some point because they're just the white and the blue satin are just incredible. Round path. Oh man. So I've got loads of my round path miniatures as well. Oh yes, they're up on those shelves behind me. Just hitting the bluey darken down earlier just to give it some interest, bit of a highlight in there. Yes, my wife said I should throw my round path paints out, but how could I? Found some really old Citadel inks as well in the little tiny bottles. They're good. It was still alright as well. Oh my god. Let's find a light green. I'm going to go back to the original green, I think, just to highlight, because I've put a green wash over the top. So we use that as use the original one as the highlight. Oh yeah. Somebody bought me the ultimate set of those. Everything. A lot of those went. But surprisingly, quite a few of them actually survived. It did surprise me. I'm going for a off-white tabardie. Oh, I remember when we were getting those Ralph paints that the Citadel paints were in those. Was it Coat d'Arms made them? In their white flip top, weren't they? And they were so thin. And because we were all painting over a black base at the time, we hated them and they were rubbish. And Railpath were much better. Now, everyone waters their paints down. Ironic, really. Games Workshop with a little voice in the wind, weren't they? White base your miniatures. Or do they go around in circles? Because let's face facts, they used to sell that really thin paint, and now they're selling you contrast paint, which is really thin paint. Just checking their trues. Want a nice solid white look to them. So when I put some stripes on them a little bit. So yeah, hopefully, I say next we've got one more point of this box to do, and there's a point of 8 warriors. Now I can either paint them during the week and make a video about it, and we can start fresh next Friday on the late Romans, or I can persevere. I'll let people in the comments decide that one. Are you bored of the Joms Vikings? You shouldn't get bored of these. These are cracking miniatures. Even if you don't do Saga Joms Vikings, I think you should get yourself some because they're awesome. I'd use them as Dungeons and Dragons miniatures as well, these ones. Run a whole campaign where everyone can talk with funny accents and offend whole nations at one foul swoop. So what I'm doing now is hitting the edge of the red with the Mars red, which is a very orangey one, just to highlight them out a bit. Now I'm going to grab the... Oh, let's do the that metallic with the flesh wash, because it will be able to see it now. Okay. So let's get it nice tight on the camera for you. I do like trying to get as much of this flesh wash onto this metallic-y as I can. You can always wick a bit away. Okay. That's going to show much better on his lid. There we go. again, once we, because I use the matte lacquer as well, it sort of takes it down a little bit more as well. Pretty shiny. No, it's not. If you want to look at even darker, the Games Workshop, is it Reichland Flesh shade? I mean the flesh shade, so I think it's Reichland Flesh. That's a little bit darker than the Army Painter one. But you can see it already on his helmet there. Brought it back in line. Right, so now we're going to put a bit of strong tone, which is the equivalent of Agrax. Kind of, sort of. I'm just going to run that into that armour. Just have a bit on that shield. I'm not worrying too much about the leather because we used our burnt umber on that, so it looks like it's got a wash on it already. If you see a bit that needs a little help, just give it some. I've got to do the spears. I'll get back. We'll go back and do them. In fact, we do this one and work back along the line. I like this for the spears because what I tend to do is put it on a bit rough. Let it settle for a minute and then mix it around, and it kind of looks a little bit like a grain. Not an awful lot, but it just implies that you've done some work. But we're all about getting free bang for our buck there. It's quite heavy on that one, so we'll probably get back in a second before it dries. Once it's dried, you can't mug around with it, but we're moving so quick at the moment, we'll be able to get back on it. So what we do, wash our brush out, get some of our medium. I'm just gonna put a bit of medium around on it, just so move it about a bit. And it's just starting to dry. It's a little bit warmer than I thought it was. It's all right. Because I've got the medium on there, it's not scraping it up, so that's cool. This one's not too bad, so. There's a dog, let me know he's still there. Okay. Nice. We're getting there. So next he's got like he's got some padded armor going on there. So we want oh, not skeleton bone, we don't want that one. We want Banshee Brown, which is like a beigey, like beigey mushroomy sort of colour. Yeah, so I want to prep these up. I don't usually put the shields on before, but they're so open, it's so easy to get to the rest of the detail that I just chucked them on anyway. And there was only 2 shields out of the 4 of them, so hey, why not? Yes. It's quite good getting some interaction, so everyone's been very nice to me so far, which is great. Normally that continue. Even when I've done some Napoleonic stuff, everyone was really cool. I don't know how wrong that can go if you get the wrong colours, which I endeavour try not to. Swig of my drink. Okay, so where they're drying off, I'm going to paint some of that bases in. This is, as I say, it's just an oak brown, but the airbrush version. It's running a bit in the flesh wash, but that's fine because I'm only doing the base. I want it quite thin, so it soaks into this mortise. Interesting. It's one of those mobile disco techs. Obviously his music's that good, everyone should hear it. I just do this sometimes before. I usually do it last, but sometimes when something else is drying, just get it done, so it's not going to slow us down later. And I think it gives you a better look of what's going on the miniature. 1 hour 38 we're on, so yeah, about where I thought we'd be. Okay. I'm going to get some spaceship exterior, which is a really light grey. And I'm going to grab my dry brush and sponge. I'm going to dry my regiment brush out and just dip it in there. Take some of that paint off. Then on my spongy bit. And then we're just going to gently bring his beard up to light grey. There we go. You see that? I'll get some stills of these and put them up on my Facebook and Twitter page tomorrow. Somebody's asked me to do a video showing how I prep stuff with the undercoat. Well, it's more the undercoating with the airbrush he was interested in, so I'll try and set that up during the week. It'll be a short video. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a expert on airbrushes, but I've got enough knowledge to be dangerous. And it's well worth it if you can get set up to do it for your undercoats and your lacquer. Right, let's some white on my palette there, so I'm gonna get the good old Psycho brush out, dip it in the medium, dip it in the white, make sure that there's no excess on the edge of my brush. Just paint those eyes in. These have got tiny eyes there. These ones. Slight overrun on that one, so we just come back in with a wet brush, tidy up a bit. There we go. Dip it in there. It's important that the paint can flow off your brush nice. On his nose, we just take that off. So the eyes are so tiny on these that usually I put a little black dot on them, but it's just not. That's just not big enough. I like them with some decent bit of sculpting. I'm just going to go back in with our secret weapon, Burnt Umber. Try to put some medium in to make it last a bit longer. come round and do the leather straps on his arms. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. I've got a little big man transfer thing for the shield. I've only got this one to do. So we could do the red one or the black one. And that black one looks cool. Let's do it now also on camera. So hold the back of the plastic, peel it back, keep it attached, let it go again. Gently tap it down just so it's just on there. Cut the one out you want. I use these little nail scissors. They're like 50p in the cheapy shops. You know where to get some. And I know we look more professional when we're using the scalpel, but you honestly can't go wrong with these scissors. You get nice and tight, and you won't chop your fingers off, which is good. It's always a bonus. So now look, now we've pulled that up already, it comes off ever so easy. No hassle at all. Make sure it's the right way up. Boom, on it goes. I thought we'd put more mices on there to show how easy. So just make sure that's nicely stuck down. And if you've got like one of these round paintbrushes, just give it all over. It's actually easier when they're not on the miniature, but I'm just showing you can do it while it's on the miniature. We'll just leave that there, just like that. Not that, like that. What am I doing tonight? Crazy. And this heat wave has finally got to me. It's a little bit cooler now. I just noticed is the white's just over in a little bit, so I'm going to go back in with a bit of this flesh. And that's done a nice highlight, so I'll go along and do all of those. So we've not done that yet. So at the moment the flesh has got our base Barbarian Flesh and is it Crusader speed paint, whatever it is. That's a wash. Now I'm just going to go back over with the Barbarian Flesh to make a highlight. And really, we're nearly there. Which isn't bad, is it? One hour 47 minutes. Video's been running. So it's been, I'd say it's probably slowed me down a bit, all this nattering. But kind of roughly 2 hours. Gotta be happy. Okay, let's start getting these bad boys finished then. So what do we need? He's done, apart from his fancy bits. This I always do it this way. He needs some hair, so we're going to go... Today we're going to use... Oh, which one should we use? Troll Claws. No, we won't. Because we've done the spears and we've done the lacquer, we're going to go with Basilisk Brown. We've already got some out, which is lovely. We're going to swap to our detail brush. Medium, because it will be a little bit dry because of the weather. My little army painter wet palette's doing a wonderful job. But it's battling, in fairness, battling the elements. I am changing my mind about these eyes. Without me putting the black dots on, they're looking terribly like Draugr zombies, if you like. So he just needs his fancy bits. When we about the fancy bits, are like lines around the bottom of their cloaks and that sort of palaver. It's padded armour. I'm just going to run some light tone over it, which I didn't know existed for quite a long time. I knew this soft and the dark, but didn't know there was a light tone. It's kind of more, a bit more sepia in it. I like it a lot. It's great for stuff like this. There we go. Just run a bit of this around the bottom of the sleeves that are going into the armour. And up under the edge of his armour there, just to create a little bit of shadow. Okay, so he just needs his fancy bits, and him, and him, and him. Cool. So now his shield's been on there a little while. What we do, get some water. Make it nice and wet. Give it a second. There we go. just with the wet brush. Well, it's more of a damp brush really. Just looking for any air pockets in there. Just flattening it out. If it's nice, a little bit damp, it's good. If you struggle and get a lot of them, that's why I keep a pin here. Just pop a little hole in it, and just, these aren't too bad, the ones with the holes cut in for the boss, because the air can escape through there as well. There we go. So now we just need a bit of black to touch it in around the edge. I'm not going to use this big fat brush, I'm going to use a detail brush. We're not going to worry about the black coming onto the transfer a little bit. That just blends it in a little bit. Go up to there, so and from that dark red, just walk down a bit on the edge there. Paint it out a little bit. There we go. And that's how to do a little big man's shield. Okay. So next is just a little bit of, I don't know why I had that black out. Let's see if we can get the dots in their eyes and see how that works. I think what I'll have to do is do the dots to one side or the other, because the eyes are so tiny on these. I don't think I'm going to get in there. Oh yeah, we can. So rather than try and get them into the centre because they're so tiny, I've got them looking left, looking right, so it's like they're crossing the road. I won't even try and get them on camera. You'll see them in the light box. So I'll get them in the light box tomorrow, put them on Facebook and Twitter. Hopefully you'll see them there. YouTube won't let me edit the video and put them on the end of this video, I'm afraid. Perhaps after next session when I finish the Joms Vikings, I can do a... Well, perhaps that'd be a way to do it, is do the last 8 in an ordinary video. Then I can put the stills up. That will be a smashing idea, I'll do that. So I'll just, while that's all drying, just run a black bit around the edge of the bases, because I'm old school and that's what I like to do. Could have been Goblin Green. Then all we need to do is dry brush the bases with a light brown, which I think I got on my palette. and do a little bit of freehand on them. Which I think, looking at the time we got on the video, it's probably a job for the morning. So I thought we were going to get those completely finished tonight, and I've waffled too much. The phone's reconnected. Oh, it's gone over the 2 hour. Just get our dry brushing done. This is that Banshee Brown. We're ready for a tuft. Just asked Griffin Beast to stock the right tufts because they had some pretty old funky colours, but I've got them to get the greens and the dry green, which are the ones I use, which I kind of really like into them. So hopefully they'll be up on their site soon. Okay. I think we do the lines in that in the morning. Because after 2 hours of painting, I'm a little weary. And I was painting all day as well. But that's my fault. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I say I'll finish these off in the morning. Literally, I'm going to put some lines around the bottom of the cloaks and bottom of the trousers. And that's it, really. And I'll stick a tuft on them, lacquer them. And that's it. So unless anything changes, I'll do the warriors in the week as a video so I can put them all together in the light box. Then next week, next Friday, we'll start these bad boys and see if we can make a saga starting army out of this one box. So if anyone wants to grab one from Griffin Beast, they're about 20, is it 23, 24 quid, and there's 44 miniatures in it, or it might be it's one of the 26. We'll have to double check. If you can buy 3 boxes, those Arabs are really good. Watch my other video and have a look. Anyway, I'm not going to gabble on for any longer because I've been nattering on for 2 hours now, and you're probably sick of my voice. And if you're watching this tomorrow, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, set alarms, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, Harvey. I'm going to need it. I will finish them tomorrow, I promise. And we'll speak soon, mate. And night all.